On a rain-soaked Sunday, the Battle of Ohio belongs to the Cleveland Browns.
We're going to be just fine. You know, it's first game. We won't make too much out of it. Wish we'd had more success. Should have had more success, but we didn't.
Especially another division game, so we gotta get one on the board this week. We're gonna work hard to make that happen. We just gotta be 1-0 this week.
I don't give a damn because I know
that validation from you. I am a king, you better bow. I don't see
I love playing at home. Great place to play. We always feel like we have an advantage when we play here.
Close our wheel right here, man, right now.
On to the next, as the Baltimore Ravens come to town with the Bengals eyeing their first win of the season. Welcome in to Bengals Weekly. I'm Marissa Contepelli. The Bengals are back in the jungle, and we are here to get you set for kickoff as the Bengals open up the 2023 home slate. We'll welcome in this week's ruler of the jungle to the show as AJ Green joins us to talk all about this AFC North rivalry. Our favorite trio tells us what the Bengals can build on heading into Week 2. And on Countdown, I'll tell you all about the recent success the Bengals have had against the Ravens and how home field advantage has played a factor in the series. But first, the news Bengals fans, and quite possibly football fans across the country, had been waiting on finally broke last week before the Bengals opened the season. Joe Burrow put pen to paper and officially became the highest paid player ever in NFL history when he signed a 5-year, $275 million extension, keeping Burrow in stripes through the 2029 season. Burrow already owns the Bengals' single-season franchise record for touchdown passes, passing yards, passing attempts, completions, and passer rating, and is the first quarterback in NFL history to be drafted number 1 overall and reach a conference title game in multiple seasons within his first 3 years in the league. Burrow also enters his 4th season as the NFL's all-time leader in career completion percentage. Burrow said all along that Cincinnati is the place he wants to spend his entire career at.
I think it's an exciting day for everybody, a very well-deserved day for Joe. He's a guy that's represented everything we want to be about, and that's on the field as a football player, that's in the locker room as a teammate, that's in the classroom as a student of the game, that's as a voice of this organization in this whole state of Ohio. Proud to be sitting here next to him today. He's earned this.
It means a lot. You know, I work really hard to perform well on the field and think a lot about how I handle myself, you know, how I can be the best me for this organization. And so to be rewarded for that, it means a lot to me. I'm going to be here for a long time. That's the most important thing.
Future secure. I know this locker room is very excited and relieved that he's going to be our quarterback for the foreseeable future. And it's a special day. I'm happy for him.
As soon as I met with Zach at the Combine, I saw his vision immediately, saw how he verbalized his vision, and the vision was very clear. And so after that meeting, you know, I was bought in. You see, I got my shirt on. You know, I did it for a reason. You know, coming from where I come from, I know I'm going to be able to do a lot of good with that money. I wanted to make sure I wore this shirt because this is kind of where it all started.
Really happy that he got that done. Super proud of him. Obviously, you know, every penny well deserved. It's going to be a big part of franchise history, so a big milestone in his life, and hopefully we get a few more big milestones this year too.
I wouldn't change my life, my story for anything. You never know how it's going to work out if one thing's different. And you know, people come into your life for a lot of different reasons, and things happen to you for a lot of different reasons, and it's all about how you respond to it, how you adapt to it, and how you grow from it.
I had texted him after I seen it and told him congratulations, but I mean, now it's time to win a championship. That's what you're remembered as, because I mean, when he's done playing, I mean, the number on the highest paid player is going to continue to go up. So, I mean, he's not going to be remembered as the highest paid player in the NFL. He's going to be remembered as winning Super Bowls.
When we return, we had Mr. Levels on the mic as we head down to field level and listen in to Tyler Boyd. Stay with us here on Bengals Weekly.
Hey, Troy, that was a good route.
Bengals Weekly is brought to you by AltaFiber, proud to be the official internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. It's now time for us to take you down to field level and get up close and personal with the action, as we had Mr. Levels, Tyler Boyd himself, on the mic in Cleveland.
We are in Cleveland today for the Battle of Ohio.
Yes, sir! Big bodies! Yes, sir! We back, Troy. We back.
Flows it deep downfield. He's got a man open, and it is broken up nicely by Cam Taylor-Britt.
Yes, sir! Shut that boy up, Cam! Go, my brother. Get us a turnover, DJ. We're gonna get going. Y'all keep turning up. What's feeling like out there? That feels slick. It ain't too crazy. The ball just super wet. Yeah. Oh, ball.
Ball security is of utmost importance in this game. It's raining. They're going to make more turnovers than we do.
Let's find a way, boys. Hey, Troy, that was a good route. That was a good route. That came double me.
The Cleveland Browns begin the season with a home win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Cleveland 24, Cincinnati 3.
The season didn't start the way many of us had hoped for, but all is not lost. Let's send it over to Dan Horde, Dave Lapham, and Jeff Hobson, who tell us what the Bengals can build and improve on as they have another key divisional game.
The Bengals opened the season with a subpar performance in Cleveland. Now they need to bounce back. And in this Who Day conversation, we are going to give you 3 things that they need to improve upon to beat the Ravens this Sunday. Lap, you're up first.
On-field communication, all 3 phases, but most dominantly, offensive communication or lack thereof. In the locker room, the post-game consensus was it was poor. Quarterback to offensive linemen, quarterback to receivers, it has to improve. Saw too many post-play stare downs like, what's going on? There's not proper pre-snap recognition and communication of what you've seen. The play is doomed. You have to all be on the same page and you have to have seen it the same way. Crowd noise can be a big factor, magnify communication issues. And I think that was the case up there in Cleveland. Let's hope that the Paycor Stadium crowd makes it an issue for the Ravens.
All right, the crowd will be great this week. Butch, how about you?
Well, with special teams guru John Harbaugh coming in with his Ravens, Bengals are going to have to step up their kicking game. They knew this coming in, that it was a work in progress. Unbelievable how many guys made their debut on special teams in the rain in Cleveland. A rookie punter, a rookie punt returner, a rookie punt protector, and 2 rookie gunners. But they think there's enough there that they've got the makings of something. Very explosive gunners in Tyson Anderson and Yoshivas. Brad Robbins was a little inconsistent, but he hit a couple boomers. They feel like there's a lot to build on, a lot of explosion, a lot of speed, but they got to start doing it now, and especially with the Ravens coming in, who are always great in special teams because of Harbaugh. 2 great special teams gurus, always, Darren Simmons versus Harbaugh. We'll watch Simmons develop his guys.
All right, I'm going to focus on a specific player who needs to improve this week, Joe Burrow. And the good news is I can virtually guarantee that he will. This is an interesting stat. Of the 3 lowest passer rating games that Joe Burrow has ever had in his career, they were all on opening day. His worst was last week. His second worst was last year against Pittsburgh. His third worst was the first game of his NFL career against the Chargers. If you extend this to one more game, it was week 2 in 2021 against the Bears. So they have all been early season games for whatever reason. How did Joe do the next week? How about 7 touchdown passes, 1 interception, and a passer rating of 95.1? I asked Brian Callahan this week, what's Joe Burrow like the week after a bad game? His answer, exactly like he is the week after a good game. The guy is unflappable. We know that Joe Burrow will bounce back, and we hope the Bengals will as a team. We've given you 3 key areas where they need to improve in this week's Who Dey Conversation.
Did your high school win a big football game this past weekend? Then you can nominate your coach now for the Bengals Coach of the Week Award presented by Paycor by visiting Bengals.com/Coach of the Week.
When we return, we welcome in one of the greatest Bengals players to the show as we sit down with AJ Green. Stay with us here on Bengals Weekly. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. He's one of the best players to ever wear the stripes. And this weekend, AJ Green will be honored as ruler of the jungle against the Ravens. Green is second in Bengals history in multiple receiving categories and is the only player in team history to make the Pro Bowl in each of his first 7 seasons. Green now joins Dan Horde.
This is the 3rd year of the ruler of the jungle, and I have never heard Bengals fans more excited about the selection than they are this week for one of the greatest leaders in franchise history, AJ Green.
Throws for AJ Green.
Yeah!
He leaps. He's got it. Touchdown! Adriel Jeremiah Green back where he belongs.
AJ, when the team reached out, what was your reaction?
I'm honored to come back. It was just like an honor, man. I loved it. I loved it.
Why do you still have such great feelings about the franchise and the city?
I think for me, it's just, we didn't leave on bad terms. It's just every good thing has to end. And I understood the business side of football. Man, they took care of me for 10 years. And a lot of people don't last 10 years in one spot. So I'm very honored to last that long in one organization. And they were the first organization who gave me my chance. And, they're just great people. The Brown family are great people, man. And they handle all my situations, even when I got hurt, is always out of respect. And that's the least I can do is, come back and be a fan and I just want that organization to win.
It's appropriate you are the ruler of the jungle in a game against Baltimore because you tormented the Ravens throughout your career. John Harbaugh famously said it would be nice just once to cover AJ before he retires.
I got the best of him a couple of times, but we used to, it's probably one of the harder hitting games. Your body feel a little sore, more sore than other weeks.
So let's talk about the current team. They had a subpar performance in week 1. Obviously, that happens from time to time. What would be your advice to the guys if you had the opportunity to visit with them this week?
And I don't think there's nothing I can tell them. I think they already played at the highest level, and that's playing in the Super Bowl. So I understand. They know, I think when that year they had that run, or even last year, they started up 0-2. Joe missed a lot of training camp, so he still got to get the field back. So it's a long season. They're going to be fine. They got great defense, great offense, and they're led by one of the greatest, and that's in Joe. He is a leader of men, and these guys, whoever's going to be in this room, he's going to lead them, and they're going to follow him. And you're seeing it right now. I call him a young Tom Brady, the way he carries himself. I've been around Tom Brady a couple of times, and they got the same demeanor.
You didn't overlap with Jamar Chase. What stands out when you watch him play?
He's big, physical, but he can take the top off. And you can see it. He can make all the hard catches, and then he can just run past you. And that's one thing about the Bengals. They're going to draft great receivers.
Bengals fans are over the moon that you are going to be the ruler of the jungle this week. Thank you for a decade of great football in Cincinnati and for all you have meant to this franchise. I appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend.
All right, thank you, Dan.
This fall, the Bengals and Ohio Cat will be out at a different high school football game, cheering on our local teams throughout the season. Last month, Houday and the Bengals Stripe Squad were out at Purcell Marion High School as the Cavaliers hosted the Deer Park Wildcats. Students and fans had the chance to win great prizes, including passes to attend a closed practice later this season. Rule your school and be on the lookout for Friday Night Stripes, because the Bengals and Ohio Cat could be coming to your game next. Up next, it's time for Contepelli's Countdown, where I'll tell you how much recent success the Bengals have had against the Ravens.
Bengals Weekly is brought to you by Betfred, the official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals, and your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
This week's game is presented by Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati kid, he will score!
The last time the Bengals were at Paycor Stadium, Sam Hubbard's iconic fumble in the jungle ended Baltimore's season and sent the Ravens packing. Now they open up the 2023 home slate against their AFC North rivals. And as recent history has shown, home field advantage matters, as Cincinnati has had the upper hand as of late. The Bengals have won 4 of the last 5 games against the Ravens, with 3 of those coming at Paycor Stadium. In those wins, Cincinnati has been dominant on both sides of the ball, holding Baltimore to 21 points or less in each contest, with the offense averaging over 33 points an outing. And there must be something special about playing in the jungle. Cincinnati has held on strong on their home turf, as the Bengals have won the last 7 games here at home, outscoring opponents by 85 points in the Queen City. The defense has also dialed up the pressure on opposing teams. In those home wins last season, Cincinnati held teams to less than a 33% conversion rate on third down. That's 6% lower than the league average of 39.
Huntley from the pocket, sacked, brought down at the 39-yard line by B.J. Hill.
As for Joey B., QB1 has been at his best against this AFC North rival. Burrow's 311 passing yards per game against the Ravens is the most by any quarterback all time against Baltimore. And the 941 yards he threw against Baltimore during the 2021 season stands as the most passing yards against one opponent in the same regular season, as Burrow posted a passer rating of 131 in those 2 games. And as for his 10 total touchdowns against Baltimore, well, that is the 3rd most against any team Burrow has played. Now, in that Week 7 win against Baltimore in 2021, Jamar Chase was on the receiving end of 201 of Burrow's 416 yards, making it the 2nd highest receiving yardage performance of Uno's career. In 5 career games against the Ravens, Chase's 115 receiving yards average is the most against Baltimore all time. And look for Joe Dean to go crazy on Sunday. Joe Mixon has found the end zone in 3 of his last 4 games against Baltimore. And over his last 6 games against the Ravens, Mixon is averaging more than 99 yards from scrimmage. Contepelli's Countdown is presented by Betfred. And don't forget to visit kingofcincy.com for your chance to win an exclusive game day experience, prizes, and so much more. The Bengals and Betfred remind you to gamble responsibly. It's now time for this week's Kettering Health Fantasy Report. The Bengals defense forced 2 turnovers against the Browns, making that 9 games in a row dating back to last season with at least 1 forced turnover by the D, as Trey Hendrickson, B.J. Hill, and Jermaine Pratt all recorded a sack on Deshaun Watson. As for Baltimore, the Ravens defense also had a good Week 1 showing, sacking the Texans 5 times and holding Houston to just 9 points on 3 field goals. Rookie Zay Flowers had a solid NFL debut for Baltimore, posting over 17 fantasy points after he hauled in 9 catches for 78 yards, leading the Ravens receivers in both categories. Thanks for tuning in to Bengals Weekly. Kickoff between the Ravens and the Bengals is coming up on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. For Dan Horde, Dave Lapham, Jeff Hobson, and our entire crew, I'm Marissa Contepelli. We'll see you next week.
Bengals Weekly is brought to you by Alta Fiber, proud to be the official internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals.